Hi, I'm Pox.
Couch Guy.
You're watching the Two Smart Guys show.
Back on YouTube.
Yeah, we're
after 6 months banned.
We're live
of a
again.
False accusational history of putting up videos that used to be involved with things that we can't say it very many times, but hacking. Pox, do you want to let everyone know why you got banned? Or do you want to let that die so YouTube doesn't ban you again? Because I want to see if you can get banned again for Kadogma being banned.
No. We'll talk about it on the other channel that I'm going to put in the show notes. Well, I have another channel that's going to purposely... We're just going to mess with every once in a while and see how long it takes to get noticed and banned.
Yeah. Let's just put it this way. We're glad to be back on YouTube, but still kind of miffed about the way that I got treated.
Yeah. Anyways, we promised a few weeks ago we would have made an episode about 4K TVs.
I've been busy since then.
Yeah.
And so is he.
And, yeah, likewise. So we left off way back when 4K was a new technology and people were starting to make content for it. You needed a way to view the content, right?
We started talking about this before the Blackmagic Camera 4K came out with their new release, which dropped the price $1,000 and made everybody like, "Oh, well, 4K is possible."
Yeah, yeah. So that's when we did the episode. Yeah. So you need to watch it. There's two ways of going about it: the really cheap way or the really expensive way.
Which for us usually means we have to go the really cheap way.
Yeah. So there's these. Please forgive me if I totally mess up the name, but I think it's Seiki.
Here's our disclaimer: we're going to screw up the names of products. We don't care. If you name your name, 1, more than 4 syllables, or 2, consonants and vowels that don't make sense to us. And Seiki, how do you spell it? C-I-K-I?
C-E-I-K-I.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No comprende. So, Seiki, we'll call it Seiki.
Yeah. So Seiki, they've got the lowest bar for entry for a 4K TV at let's see. What was it? There's the 39 incher for $400.
But we should not call this a TV. This is in no way a television. It doesn't have a tuner in it. It doesn't have many of the features that you would expect in a TV, and it doesn't do anything really good except for 4K. And we've been told that 4K, well, it does it. It may not be the best, but it does it. So, don't put 1080 into it. Just put 4K into it.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna monitor your computer output and look at it and just have a way to look at your 4K footage in really 4K, good. $400, 39 inches.
What I'm seeing a lot of reviews is people buying this thing for computer monitors. They work as a pretty decent computer monitor, except the HDMI is 1.4A, which is only 30 hertz at
which
4K.
Means you have a really weird motion blur that will happen a lot of things.
So it's kind of a weird refresh rate, but it's 4K.
It's 4K. You get the resolution, but it's fast images may look.
Yeah, but most of the 4K cameras, they shoot at 30 frames unless you turn them down to 24.
This isn't the same. Frames and hertz are not the same thing.
They're a little bit off, slightly.
Think of hertz more like how shutter speed works.
Well,
you work at a 60th, even if you're shooting at 30 frames. So, for instance,
29.97, right?
No, that's frames. If your shutter speed should be 1/60th, right? Or not one. It's a 60th. So if you're shooting 24, you double it and you make your 48th. Okay, we're not doing degrees and things like that. So in this case, 24p footage might look better than 30 frame footage because it's pretty close to what you'd want to see it at. If you were to see 120 frame footage by rights, you should be shooting at 240, shutter speed just to get the motion blur correct. The lower you put the shutter speed, the more apparent motion blur is. The higher you put the shutter speed, which is why 120 frames and 240 hertz look so crystal clear because you don't have the correct motion blur. Similar in how the interpretation comes in.
Okay, so anyways, you can get these things also in a 50-incher for $900, or a 65-incher for $2,000. So you can get that really big 4K display.
Yeah, so you can play World of Warcraft and across the room.
But if you want a real TV, Sony makes a 55-incher 4K for $3,000, and they also make a 65-incher for $4,500.
$4,500 is an interesting amount of money to pay for a 65-inch TV. It's considerably less than I thought it would be, because it wasn't too long ago the 65-inch LCD TVs, not even LED LCDs, were in the 2,500 range. So to quadruple your resolution to only get to 45 is still pretty good as far as I'm concerned.
And the cool thing about all this is if you're not ready for 4K, and barely anything is ready for 4K yet, you can pick up a sweet deal on a 65-inch regular full HD for about $1,200, which is kind of cool.
Did we ever do our 4K episode on YouTube?
Our 4K episode of...
Finding 4K content on YouTube?
We did one on cameras.
We're going to do a show in 4K for YouTube.
Oh, no. We have not done that yet.
We haven't done that yet.
We need a way to do it.
Well, I'm just thinking that we would record both in 1080 and put them next to each other.
Oh.
And then it'd be a post-production thing.
Oh, yeah.
You are finding 4K products on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So you can now see some 4K footage. So sure, there's a place to watch it. Sony has a program where you can watch 4K content through their streaming service that they kind of saddle you with these TVs. If you wanted to participate in watching 4K content, there hasn't been great reviews about it. Netflix is working on it, but it hasn't really released anything yet.
No, they have. They have. But you have to be on an internet provider that's participating.
So Comcast.
Yeah.
Soon, because they just ruined net neutrality. Another show. Completely other show.
Or no, I think
so
I think with House of Cards they turned it on for everybody now that can handle it. And it killed the internets. And that's when that whole dealy bob went off where they had to pay for peering and all that jazz.
I don't know. All I know is that Comcast was throttling people and then suddenly...
Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments.
Don't worry, they will. You guys do it.
And then, yeah. Just let everybody know we're live again on YouTube.
Hey, we're back on YouTube. We won't get banned this time for channels or for shows that we had for like 3 years ago.
So, yeah, Wednesday nights at 8:30 Mountain Time, we try and do a live show.
We promise to have a lot of banter at the beginning that doesn't mean anything and you'll probably hate us for. You won't see this if you're watching this days from now because he's going to cut it off.
Yeah, so post in the comments below, are you guys willing to pay, 2-3 times as much for a 4K TV that actually does all the magical stuff to supposedly make it look better, or do you just want a straight up 4K display for like a third the cost? I did all the math wrong there, but
I want to know, since we have NAB coming up, and I think you're going, are you not going?
Yes, I'm going to go this time. Yeah.
What you are interested in, because I've completely changed what I'm interested in looking at since I've changed jobs. And I know Pox is always interested in some very eclectic mixes. We're probably going to have a show, at least one, about what we're expecting coming up at NAB. And then we'll do one probably from Las Vegas like we usually do. Yeah. Or at least try to. God knows we've always had fun trying to make that happen. So. Anything else? Hey, subscribe.
All right.
There's actually going to be shows here.
See you guys hopefully next week. Every Monday, YouTube, twosmartguys.com.
Again. So now you can hit stop streaming and I'll take it out and be done.
Okay.